Hey, Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, some of you guys are catching me down your news feed or here with me live today. Welcome. I'm going to get our Periscope folks up here on today. We're doing double duty. Perry Kingdom and FB Kingdom is on its way. It's happening. So you guys, tonight we're going to be talking about the danger of an ultimatum and what to do instead. I've been sitting here. Hey, Erica. Hey, Erica, how are you? So glad you decided to join. I just feel okay. So anyway, hey, Periscope, for you guys checking out live and replay. You guys make sure you heart it up and tap some emojis. Send some love. We made it to 1 million hearts and almost 1,000 followers. So some good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So, Simone, how are you? How are you? We're going to be talking about the danger. Facebook, Periscope didn't get the memo because I hadn't hit the like button. So we're going to be talking about the danger of setting an ultimatum and what to do instead. And you guys can thank my niece. She's here, sitting here right with me, because I've been talking to her for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, about this whole thing about ultimatums. Yes, I'm well. We've been having a sidebar conversation before the conversation tonight. And she has some interesting things to say. Hey, Pastor Lewis, it's been a couple of scopes since I seen ya. Glad to see you back in the building. Look who come through, Morgan. Yes, welcome. Well, let me take a minute to introduce myself as people are coming into the room. Facebook Live, you guys do what you do, as well as Perry Kingdom. I am Joe Bullock, and I'm extremely passionate about equipping folks in the kingdom to catch their whole entire life, everything from their mission to their mates. I hope to prepare and position you to live the life that you love right now so you can attract healthy, happy love that leads to godly marriage. Hey, Maria, welcome. So I haven't really done a true chat and talk in a while because I've been on the prayer mode. We've been in the prayer mode. We've been in Proverbs 31 mode. So tonight I just want to have a conversation. Is that okay? I don't like to say being busy. I try not to be busy, but definitely being productive. I like to say that, fortunately, my business is my Father's business, and I'm just grateful to be doing the work of my Father. So it's a gift. It's a gift. And I dare not call it a burden because He carries that. Hey, Agent Beautiful, how are you? Hey, Agent Beautiful, how are you? All right, you guys. Are you guys ready to have a conversation about this? I'm going to tell you a couple of things about ultimatums. I'm going to tell you even why. Well, I got to be careful what I say. But, you know, it just came into my spirit about this ultimatums. I just feel like sometimes people get into relationships. Hey there, Be Blingy. Sometimes people get in relationships and they are tempted to feel like they need to give an ultimatum. It's blocking my light source. For one reason or another. And I just want to talk to you guys about really, is that really a good idea? Or perhaps is there truly some danger? Is there truly some danger around giving somebody an ultimatum? And what does it really mean? What does it really mean? Does anybody want to type? I'm going to be soliciting you guys tonight. If you guys can type and tell me what an ultimatum means to you. You know, because we were thinking and talking and saying, well, is there any situation, where an ultimatum would actually be a good idea or the right thing to do? All right, Pastor, would actually be a good idea or the right thing to do. So that's the question that came up. And I did some research on this topic. Hey, Coach K, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, you guys. So I did some research on this topic. And at the end of the day, oftentimes we're saying that ultimatum is usually not the best thing. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, ultimatum is pretty much, let's even go there for a moment. Let's just go back to the basics and say, what is an ultimatum? An ultimatum is generally when you're telling somebody, do this or else. So it's either you do what I say or else I'm going to do something. And it's usually a less favorable decision. It's usually a less favorable thing. Like either you move in with me or I'm going to leave you. Either you marry me or I'm going to leave you. And what I find with that is when we tell somebody do this or else, we kind of backing somebody else in the corner. You kind of maybe feel like twisting that person's arm. Hey, Mark, it's been a while. So glad you decided to come through about what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. Right? So have any of you guys ever been given an ultimatum? If you've been given an ultimatum, type 1. I hope I don't have to take this jacket off. I am getting hot quick. I got this bright light source. It's drawing heat. Tier, can you cut that heat off for me? I'll push it over your way. You know, have you guys, if you ever been given an ultimatum, press 1. If you ever gave an ultimatum, press 2. I'm trying to see, have I ever gave an ultimatum? I don't know if I did. Honestly, I used to have an issue breaking up with people, so I probably wouldn't give an ultimatum. Honestly, if I could be real honest right now, if you have an issue breaking up with people, type a 3. So if you've been given an ultimatum, I believe I said type of 1. If you gave an ultimatum, type of 2, if I'm not getting that confused. And 3, if you just be the person like, man, I really don't want to break up with them. How do I get out of this relationship? Like, God, send me a scapegoat. Type of 3. Type of 3. It went horribly wrong. Okay, Agent Beautiful, if you want to share more stuff about that, I would love to hear. I would love to hear, because I think people find that they think if I give somebody an ultimatum, if they're not doing what I want them to do, or I'm not getting my needs met in this relationship, if I tell them to make my needs or else, then they have the choice. I'm just giving them a choice to choose to do or not to do it. But I think that where we went wrong with it is where we tell them what we're going to do if they don't do it. Because then it almost is borderline a threat. It's almost borderline a threat, because we're saying, do this or else. So let me share with you some of the notes I got from this. When I've been doing some study on this, of different things about ultimatums. And I've already shared some things with you. Bear with me, because I am working with like 3 devices. So help me God. Can you hold that, T? Okay, she said she's going to hold that. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Thank you, Nisi. I appreciate that. Okay. So the thing I want to tell you about the dangers, let's just go over 3 dangers of ultimatum. And then we're going to go through 3 things that you should do instead. Bring it up a little bit, T. Just, yeah, perfect. Okay. So the one thing I want to say, and I want you guys to type this. When we give somebody an ultimatum, it's not giving that person, we're not giving the relationship enough time for people to make a decision, especially when you're talking about decisions such as, let's talk about marriage, or talking about somebody moving in. I don't even want to talk about moving in, because we don't do that in the body of Christ. So let's just talk about marriage is the ultimatum, saying, hey, somebody said, I was tired of playing house, and I told him we needed to move forward or else. And he said, or else. Oh, wow. So, yeah, she said that, and that's a great point. Thank you so much for sharing that. She said, laugh out loud. But you know what? I always say, and I get it from Pastor Kim, oftentimes man's rejection is God's protection. So there's no need for you to sit in a relationship with somebody who hasn't already made their mind up about you, who hasn't already said, hey, I want to be with you. And matter of fact, you don't need to back me in a corner and tell me whatever else. You know what I'm saying? They're just saying, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. Can't make adults do what they don't want to do. Pretty much, exactly. And I like to say a man convinced against his will, or a woman, is of the same opinion still. So even if we try to oppress upon our views, our beliefs, at the core of who they are, they're still going to feel that something's out of line. And oftentimes, if we are asking somebody to make a step, a bold move, such as marriage, and they're not ready, what's happening is we're not giving it enough time to grow. We're not taking that time to have that emotional feelings to develop and let them come to that place on their own. You know what I'm saying? And so we get in this place where we're kind of forcing and controlling the other person to do what we want them to do, because our needs aren't being met. So we say, hey, do what I want you to do. Do this because this is what I need and what I want. I'm going to tell you, it's okay to let people know, and you should let the other person know what your needs are. And we're going to kind of move right into that. And some of what you should do instead, you do need to let that person know, hey, this is what my desires are. This is my needs. The part that you just need to leave off is what you're going to do if they don't do it, because then it becomes like a threat, or as we're saying here tonight, an ultimatum. Does that make sense, you guys? If that makes sense, type yes. If you're following that and you resonate with that, type yes if that makes sense to you. Because that person still may be on the fence. And what somebody has shared with me one time, and I'm like, that is so true, and I find it to be even true still in my life today, is somebody can't really share their feelings and thoughts with you until they had time to really rationalize and go through those feelings and thoughts with themselves. Because you guys probably recall me saying a couple of scopes ago, people's values and beliefs, right? And whatever their morals are, whatever their thoughts are, is expressed through their behavior. It's all that is expressed through their behavior, right? So if it's expressed through their behavior, if they haven't really came to the realization that that's how they feel yet, they're not going to be able to act that out. And you need to take their feedback, what they're doing or not doing, as feedback of how they feel about you, rather than trying to push them into a certain direction of where you want them to go. Right? Hey, Queen Ara, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are enjoying this, hey, Sandy, that's my family. Hey, love, how are you? So if you guys are enjoying the scope, I admonish you, I encourage you to share. I encourage you to share this scope with your friends. If you know, oh man, such and such need this scope tonight. Such and such should be on this scope tonight. You know, me and such were just talking about this. Such and such is in a relationship and she's trying to think, or he's trying to think what they're going to do next. I encourage you to invite them into this room. Thank you so much, you guys, Maria, for inviting your followers. I really appreciate that. Facebook, you guys know you can just share straight on your page, or you can just invite 1, 2, 10 friends, how many people you want on the scope, on the Facebook Live today. So that's the one thing, is you got to think about it. Am I trying to accelerate this? And you got to wonder, am I really trusting God? Because now you're forcing your hand on the situation and you're trying to now be the God of the situation. You're trying to control the outcome. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And that's something I'm teaching on and I'm going to continue to talk about when it comes to relationships. Neither party should be overly invested. This is what happens. People are overly invested in the outcome of the relationship. And when you're overly invested in the outcome of the relationship, you start doing things out of desperation, and you start to, what they say, desperate times calls for what? Can somebody type on the screen? They say desperate times calls for what? Desperate measures. So sometimes when we're so overly invested into the outcome of the relationship, we start acting as if there's, desperate times, and we start taking what? Desperate measures. Yes, indeed. So listen. What I want to tell you is the second danger. The second danger is a person may become resentful. The person may become resentful of you. Because if you say, hey, I'm giving this person an ultimatum, either they're going to marry me or else, and what if they marry you? And then what if for 2 years in a relationship, they realize that there was a reason that they hadn't proposed, and that really they start to realize, man, this chick forced me to marry her, and now she also want me to force me to take out the trash. She's trying to force me to do this job. She's trying to force me. And then they start to say, man, they start to feel resentful that you kind of trapped them into this situation. Right? And so if you think about it, what type of love really is going to manifest from that? I would always encourage people, and you guys don't talk about me, but you're probably going to talk about me, but I always say this, and I believe it to be true. When it comes to relationships, I believe as women, for the women that's on this scope, we should let the man love us a little more. Let him love a little harder. We always want to be the ones to love so hard and be the giving our heart, our mind, and our soul, and just giving so much. But in this season, I'm just saying, fall back. Fall back. Can somebody type fall back? I'm just going to say, ladies, just fall back in the relationship. And don't always try to, strong arm the results of the relationship. Just fall back and let him pursue you for the relationship, so he won't feel resentful that you forced him into this situation or into this relationship. The third thing I want to share with you guys is you can lose your negotiation power. And we saw that because somebody just typed. They was trying to give an ultimatum, and the dude was like, oh, move together or else, or marry me or else. Okay, or else. And in that case, it kind of, even though you feel like it backfired, I think it served you, because what that showed is he just validated what he already was communicating with you, but you were not listening. Because if he hadn't proposed to you and he hadn't told you that he was planning on proposing you or planning to marry you and taking steps to move towards that, he already was telling you that he didn't have an interest at that time to marry you. But if you try to validate something different and trying to push him in that direction, he just validated to you what he already was saying. And I just want to tell you guys, sometimes we just got to listen to people's behavior for what it is and stop trying to force the results of the outcome of the relationship. And I say that I wasn't the person to give the ultimatum, but I was the person that tried to change somebody. And really that's the root cause and the root of a lot of this ultimatum is trying to, hey, Roxanne, how are you? Trying to get somebody to do what we want them to do. We're trying to change them in some type of direction, some type of way, shape, form. We're trying to do that. So let me go over the 3 things here that you should be doing instead. The 3 things that you should be doing instead. So instead of saying, dude, listen, marry me or else, or whatever the case may be, Just have an open and honest conversation. Check this out. First with yourself. Because what I know to be true, a lot of times we don't spend enough time writing down, thinking what it is that I want. If you already have, okay, this was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was. I learned a lot from the rejection though. Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad you did. And I'm, like I said, despite the time, I'm glad you even shared it, because that does take boldness and confidence. A lot of people don't want to admit it, you know, but the truth be told, we've all been subject to some level of rejection. Like, unless you haven't been doing relationships. Like, yeah, for the most part. It's probably like 1% of the world that hasn't been. It's probably a little less than that. Right? Probably a little less than that. But I want to encourage you to have open and honest communication. You guys type this. This is what you should do instead. Number 1, open and honest communication with yourself. And saying, okay, what is it that I really want? What is it? What needs do I need to be met in a relationship? What are my non-negotiables? What do I expect somebody to do or not to do? The problem is we get into a relationship, we have no idea what our standards are, what it is that we desire, what it is that we want, how to get our needs met. Hey, oh, he left. Hey, Perk Tutor, thanks for dropping in. Hey, Shakima, you know, and because of that, then, you know, we are surprised and we're trying to scramble to get our needs met because we wasn't clear about that from the onset. And that's why in going into a relationship, we need to go ahead and put that on the table when we get in. Like, listen, let me just go ahead and tell you what my expectations are. I'm just going to let you know. You have the choice right off the bat to accept or not accept it. What happens is people get in relationships all casually, don't make no expression of what their expectations are, have no or little idea about what their needs or desires are, and then they get halfway down the road and be like, hold on, I want to do stuff differently. Like, I have these needs, I have these desires, I have these expectations. She said, rooted in the truth. Yes. You know, we need to be more forthcoming, but again, as I said earlier, you cannot sit and express your thoughts and feelings about what you desire, what you expect, if you haven't taken the time to sit with yourself to say, self, what is it that I desire? What is it that I need? You know what I'm saying? What is it that I want? And a lot of that stuff kind of was just started to be revealed to me, you know, because of, like, for one thing, I started to realize is that I didn't want, and this was a weird thing for me, but I have my reasons. I was like, I got to the point, like, I didn't want to marry a man that drunk alcohol in terms of buying it and having it in my refrigerator. Because I got to the point, I was like, you know what, I do not want alcohol in my freezer or my refrigerator. No judgment to nobody else. That's just where I was. But I had to be crystal clear on that, because then when I'm entering relationships, if I know I'm dealing with somebody who drinks beer or drinks, you know, liquor, then that's not going to work for me. But I had to figure that out for myself, you know, and I know where it came from. I know I had that, but, you know, I had to get to the realization, because that was not always the top of mind. I wasn't going around and say, if you drink it, I'm not going to date you, you know, but I had to get to that understanding and reflect to understand what's my values, what's some strongholds that I know that's been on my family or whatever, that I want to make sure that I'm not leaving any room for the enemy to move in me and the life of my family or my husband or my children. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Shakima. Great job on the conference. Oh my God, it was so amazing. So amazing. So amazing. Love, 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 love what you're doing, my dear. So number 2, you guys. Number two. Oh, hold on. Let me not move too fast. If you guys got questions, go ahead and post them, because this is just like chat. I don't want to be preachy. Sometimes I get preachy. I'm teachy and preachy. So, but if you got questions, go ahead and post your questions up. What I want to say, you need to think about in terms of finances. You know, what are your values around finances in terms of saving and spending, home ownership versus renting? You know, what is your value in terms of career and your job? What do you want to do? What type of thing are you looking for your spouse to do? And this is even a point for men, because sometimes, man, let's men, you be honest. Sometimes you probably seen it. Your buddies get married, then all of a sudden their wife don't want to work no more. You need to be very clear about that. Listen, with your potential partners up front, that listen, I know you working now, and do you plan to work? You know, ask this question. You plan to work after you get married? I just want to know. I just need to know. You know, those type of things in terms of education. You know, your education and your education goals. Going back to get a master's degree, a doctor's degree really impacts a relationship, a marriage. Actually, I know a guy I was roommating with, his wife divorced him largely due to the time he was taking a master's degree program where his time was a little unbalanced. He didn't have as much time to spend with his family. And as a result, his wife divorced him. So we need to be crystal clear on these things. In terms of intimacy and sex, You need to have those conversations of what your expectations are regarding that, regarding family, regarding friends, regarding your hobbies, right? And after you sit down with yourself and you know exactly what you desire, then you need to have that conversation with your partner. Okay, that's number 2. Open and honest communication with your partner. Open and honest communication with your partner. This is the thing. Sometimes if you're dealing, and we've been talking a little bit about rejection. I know Pastor D dealt a lot with rejection last couple of weeks on Periscope, on Perry Kingdom as we call it. If you're dealing with rejection, this conversation will be hard for you. But you got to, if you're dealing with rejection, I'm going to tell you, you shouldn't be in a relationship. And if you're in a relationship, you need to really be praying for expedited deliverance. Expedited deliverance. Hey, mighty warrior. Because if you're dealing with the spirit of rejection, that's going to make you apprehensive, and you may struggle to find the courage to have the conversation because you still may be feared that that person may not accept you, right? So that's important to recognize that in yourself. You know, if you feel like, man, I don't want to have the conversation. What if he doesn't? What if he tells me stuff that I don't want to hear? Or what if he doesn't want to meet my needs? All that. Somebody will. God is going to place that person into your life that will meet your needs. You just got to be saying, I'm not going to settle for somebody that's not. Like, why? Why would you do that? All right, you guys. Number two. Actually, the one was like 1A and 1B. The first one was 1A and 1B. Open and honest communication with self and open and honest communication with your partners. So the second part of what to do instead of giving an ultimatum is have a serious conversation about your needs and desires. I guess that kind of mirrors what I just said. Ask them if they're willing. This is the key part. Ask them if they're willing or able to meet your needs in a relationship. You're not telling them, you're not threatening them, you're just asking a simple question. And I know I had this conversation with my husband around a couple of things. I was going to say, do this or I'm leave you. No, on your own accord. Are you willing? I'm just letting you know. In case you didn't notice, you might, boo thing. KLB, you might not have noticed. I just wanted to bring it to your attention in case you missed it. But this is a need for me. This is really important for me. Yeah, I tell y'all my little petty story about Facebook. And there was other things too with friends that he had. I'm like, listen, it's just important to me. You don't have to do it. Life is not going to end if you don't do it. In my mind, I knew the relationship might have ended if he didn't do it. But I dare not try to threaten him with that. I just knew what my non-negotiables were. And, and I was just going to stick with that. Just hit it down for me, T. And we just kind of roll with it, rock with it. And it worked out because he really he cared about me. He knew that he wanted to do those things. Barely needs charging, lovely, calm. Okay, catch it. Hopefully you catch the rest on the replay. So you guys, let's take us to the 3 thing, and I hope you guys got some questions. We'll do some Q&A after this. If it means that much to you, whatever that thing is you're asking, then leave the relationship and align yourself with somebody with the same values. Because if you don't, listen, if you don't decide to leave the relationship, what you have to do is sit with yourself. This is deep right here. Oh, it's freezing? Must be because I'm on 2 things. If you don't, what you're pretty much saying is, you have to ask yourself, am I willing? This is deep, you guys. Listen. Am I willing to stay in a relationship with somebody who's unable or unwilling to meet my needs? That's deep. That's serious right there. That's a big question. And if you are, I'm going to again say, I'm going to question, maybe you're not healthy enough to be in a relationship because that's saying, I don't value myself enough. I'm not confident yet to know my own worth to say I should be in this relationship. So that's pretty much what I want to tell you. One thing I want to say, and I got to say this for Tiara. Me and her have been talking about this. Saying no, yes. Okay, exactly. Like, why? God has such great plans for you. He's going to give you the desires of your heart. He's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. You have 2 choices out here in these streets. Listen, you can go and make your own blessing, or you can wait for God's blessing. What you gonna do? What y'all gonna do, Perry Kingdom? Facebook Live, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I just want to know. So I want to encourage you to wait for God's blessing because it's always so much better. He knows exactly what we need. Yes, God does give you the options to choose, right? But he's not going to put you in a situation or only offer you something that's lower than your standards. Because people want to try to get in where they fit in, right? They're going to try to get in. I choose to wait. Yes, mighty warrior. You better say it. You better say it. So you guys, as we wrap up, that's pretty much all the things I want to share. I can do a recap. And you guys can let me know if there's any questions you have. I also want to invite you guys. We decided to open up the Proverbs 31 day challenge just for 10 more slots for the next couple of days, whichever comes first. We've been doing about 5 slots a day. Hey, Javaria. Hey. So we've been doing about 5 slots a day. So we're going to open it up for the next couple of days until we fill up to 10 more spots. So if you don't know what the Proverbs 31 day challenge is, it's pretty much us walking through the book of Proverbs. And I think it's fitting to mention tonight because really at the root of all of it, is like, are we operating in wisdom in our relationships, right? In terms of our relationships, because nobody wants to be with somebody that really don't want to be with us. And that's what my fear is. And that's why I did this scope, honestly, you guys. I don't want any person that's following Jill Bullock and Detour Movement to be in a relationship with somebody who really only kind of want to be with you, who only making you, you're really not a priority. I'm doing this like how we did for this is horrible. It was a running joke with Hillary Clinton. It was a running joke with Hillary Clinton. And I don't know if you guys see the meme, and they said, man, let me go ahead and vote for this girl. And they said, unfortunately for Hillary Clinton, many of her voters were like that. Many of her voters was not like diehard fans. They was like, man, this is the lesser of two evil. Let me go ahead and vote for this girl. You don't want your husband to be like that. You don't want your wife to be like that. Hey, Damon, how are you? You don't want your spouse to be like, well, let me go ahead and marry this girl. Man, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and give this girl that ring, boy. Well, I don't even want to do this, boy, but this girl keep tripping, man. Let me go ahead and do this. Boy, bye. Bye, Troy. Bye. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, man. Troy, come on, man. Troy, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. We next. Ticket number 187. Whatever it takes. Absolutely not. But sometimes that's what people do. And I can't even imagine. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. Being in a situation where I pressure somebody by Frank. Okay. George, Peter, Paul. You name him. Whoever he is. Listen, I wouldn't want any of you guys to be in a relationship like that because God designed relationships and marriage to be a place where you experience peace, a place where you experience joy, love. My sisters and my sister-in-laws, they always tease me and my husband when we're talking to each other or when we're around each other because they're like, you guys are just too like bubbly, googly eyes to each other. Like y'all is like all in love, like, ugh. It's kind of, they think it's like kind of disgusting. Not that we be like tonguing out or, all that. No, but I think this, even in the conversation when we talk to each other, you can hear the passion. You can hear the love. You can hear that we both admire and mutually respect one another. And you can just hear that, man, Jill loves Kel and man, Kel loves Jill. You know what I mean? And that's the type of relationship that God's desire for you to have. And so why you want to settle for something less with somebody who's still trying to make their mind up about you after 4 years? Like, really? If you ain't figured out by now, boo, boy, bye. I'm going to need you to really appreciate me a little bit more than that. I'm just saying. You guys got any questions? Okay. You guys got any questions? So I kind of went on a tangent. I was trying to go to my Proverbs 31. Let me go there real quick and I'm going to do a recap, you guys. And I'll take any questions. But going back to the Proverbs 31, when you operating as a Proverbs 31 woman, and as you go through the challenge, more importantly, as you go, it's important to be a Proverbs 31 woman. And the challenge helps you to get there. Hey, Simone, Yes, okay. And the challenge helps you to get there. It helps you to renew your mind. It helps you to transform your life. It helps you to see relationships, people in a different way than you've ever seen it before. Treal and I have been talking. She said, me too. Can't wait. There's a difference when you pick one and God has one for you. It is. It definitely is. Because you don't want to try to be forcing somebody's hand the whole time. And I believe that's why a lot of people get divorced. I believe that's why we are at 50-65% divorce rate these days, is because a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it for financial benefit. They're doing it because we got kids together. They do it out of obligation. And that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work at all. That don't work at all. At all. So I want to encourage you guys to join us for the Proverbs 31 day challenge. Every day we're going through the book of Proverbs. We're picking out a scripture or two and we're unearthing that thing. We're exposing the text so you can get a deeper understanding of how does that apply to your life so you can do life better, so you can do relationships better. We're giving you an electronic journal that you can print out and you can have daily reflections each and every day to say, listen, okay, this is what I just got the word of God. This is what thus saith the Lord. And Shakima, if you're still with us, it's for I don't know if you ever did the Proverbs 31 day challenge, Shakima. If you haven't, I definitely encourage you to do it. Not to pick on you, but not to pick on you, but I think it's great for single women and married women. That's why I really want to say it's just not for single women. It's for single women as well as married women. And we have a community and we're staying plugged. Actually, we're doing a second edition of our training on Sunday, talking about boss up in your life and your relationships, because when it comes to a Proverbs 31 woman, it's talk about the deeds and the character. So the whole time you're going through the different characters and aspects of the woman, but on Sunday we help you to manage the deeds, which is the doing part. How do you be whether it's a wife, a single mom, and work full-time and working in full-time ministry or part-time ministry, owning your own business, just doing so much, trying to attend PTA meetings, and it just gets a lot. So you can go to Proverbs31daychallenge.com, Proverbs31daychallenge.com, and join for that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So let me go back and recap. If you want to join us, just go to Proverbs31daychallenge.com. Hey, Katrina. It's less than $1 a day. I should mention it is a tiny investment. Less than $1 a day is actually $20.12. $20.12 to join, and it's life-changing. I'm doing it again. I can't even count how many times I've done it. It's got to be like number 5. We do it at least once. We do it usually about once a year. We're doing it once a year. I believe this is the first time we've done it. I believe some other people had did it earlier this year, maybe with Girls Talk or something like that. But this is the first time Detour Movement has done it this year. And we're not going to be doing it again probably until next year around this time. Until like the last quarter of next year. So want to encourage you to grab that. Let me go over real quick the 3 things I say don't do. The results of the dangers, the 3 dangers, and then what you should do instead. So the 3 dangers... If giving somebody an ultimatum, if you're thinking about do it, don't do it. Can somebody type don't do it? Please don't do it. Don't do it. If you're thinking about doing it, don't do it. If you need to give an ultimatum, that's a sign you need to leave. Matter of fact, start running like Forrest. Run, Forrest, run! Don't do it. Don't do it. Go, 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 go. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Okay, the danger is not giving your bond enough time to grow and not letting that person really sit with their feelings to know what it is that they think. Hey, Taryn, how are you? Hey, hey, hey. Glad you decided to stop in. The second thing is the person may become resentful of you. They laughing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Listen, listen, listen. Also, the third danger is you lose your negotiation power. And we kind of saw that. Somebody shared in Facebook, you couldn't see, but on Periscope, somebody shared that they tried to give somebody an ultimatum, say, let's get married or marry me or else. And the person said, or else. And sometimes, they were shacking, but they wanted to marry.
And she was like, we can't live together, I'm married.
Okay, let me get my Nisi is getting me straight on here to scope tonight. She's saying that the situation was the couple was living together, and she said, I don't want to continue to live with you and not be married. So either we need to get married or else. Is that it, T? Right. And the guy said, or else. And so you can lose your negotiation power, and sometimes you may not really be ready to let go of the relationship. Hence is why you give the ultimatum. So that just is not good for your life. Okay. And then I said, what should you do instead? Have open and honest communication with yourself. Have open and honest and sit down. What are your values in terms of your finances, your career, your education? Katrina, what is your values in terms of friends, family, even sex and intimacy? What do you expect? What do you desire? What are your hobbies? And, what do you want? And then also we talked about another thing you can do instead is then you want to move forward and have a conversation with that person and let them know what your needs are and ask them what their needs are and see if they're willing on their own accord without feeling like you're going to leave. They don't do it. To make the adjustment, but we want to make sure we're not trying to bull a bear or change somebody for our own comfort, right? And then lastly is if it means that much to you, then you should leave the relationship. Or if you don't, you have to sit with yourself and say, am I willing to be in a relationship with somebody who's not meeting my needs? And I'll say you are for a while until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. So anyway, you guys, does anybody have any questions? Taryn, how are you? How's the babies? So glad you decided to check it out. That's my fam. I'll see if you guys got questions. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Or not a couple, maybe like one. Because if you guys don't have Q&A for me, Tia has some Q&A for me. my niece. Just a matter of time. Then bye-bye. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, if you have to I feel like if you give somebody an ultimatum, I'm just gonna say it. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Hopefully we'll see you guys for Christmas. I'm not sure if you guys are going down to Pops and see your mom, but hopefully we'll see you guys for Christmas. When you give somebody an ultimatum, it's kind of like forcing them to do something, and you don't want a relationship like that. You're constantly trying to get this person pulling teeth. Why? No. Let that teeth fall out on its own. I ain't got time. That's too much work. Too much work. All right, you guys. I'm going to give you guys about 15. I'll give you 15 seconds to pose the question, and then we're going to wrap up. Yay! Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Excited to see you guys. Yeah, Kelvin's trying to keep me there like for the whole year. Well, the year's almost over, but still. We'll see. We'll be there. By the grace of God, anyway, we'll be there. All right, you guys. So join us on Proverbs31daychallenge.com, Proverbs31daychallenge.com. Tomorrow I'll be scoping. I'm going to finish up the scope I did earlier today. I think I'm going to go ahead and give the other 4 points. What was the scope on today? I was talking about making power moves. So I gave 1 tip today, which is let go of the false gods, and I have 4 other tips I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to do that sometime tomorrow morning, so you can make sure your notifications are on so you can catch that. I don't know exact time. I don't like to put exact time, especially on Saturdays. So you guys can just let me know. Okay, 10 seconds from now, I'm going to take a question or I'm going to get off. 9 seconds. 9. How my girl do? That's how April do. She do a countdown. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Hey, Liz. 2, 1. I don't believe nobody's typing a question to try to get answers. So with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll finish the conversation about making power moves. We also have a VIP day with some kingdom builders, so we may do a drop-in on that. And also, actually, guys, I'm going to do a pass the cast. Okay, warning, I'm doing a pass the cast tomorrow, so that should be pretty good, though. So I'm part of a powerful spiritual group, and we're going to be passing the cast tomorrow from, I want to say 9 to 10:30 a.m. and 9 to 10:30 p.m. And I'm scoping tomorrow at 10 a.m. So in the morning, and then back again at 10 a.m. and then back again tomorrow night at 9:50 p.m. So help me God. Okay, you guys, love ya. I'm out of here. Be blessed.